chaotic, and it has changed my life. I'm a fan of his ever since. I love this collection. Of his most legendary supermodels and more. The four queens of the runway. Fashion, New York Fashion Week is right around the corner. Librarian tonight, and that's because I came to read a bitch. Jaja's Atelier, bitch. Welcome back, y'all. I missed you to a brand new episode of Jaja's Atelier. Listen, y'all, it's been almost a motherfucking month. It's been 3 weeks since I've been back. But listen, bitch, I ain't Elsa. I don't do well in the snow and the ice and the below 38 degree temperatures, okay? I just don't. That snowstorm that hit us here in Virginia, honey, I'm so glad I was able to make sure I gave y'all a show right before it happened. But honey, I went and stayed at my mama's house. Listen, I love my house, but this is an old model house. This house was built in the late 30s, early 40s. So it doesn't necessarily have a central heating and cooling system yet. So once it gets below 15 degrees, bitch, I'm going to the compound across the street, aka my mama's house. However, my mom lives on a 2.5 mile dirt road, and she lives all the way in the back. So after it snowed, when we woke up the next morning, bitch, who was going anywhere? Look at this. The whole road is full of ice. The entire road is full of ice. I hope I put that video in here so you guys can see it, because I know I probably deleted it out my phone. But the whole road, I mean the whole goddamn road full of ice. Solid as a rock ice, 3 inches thick. I couldn't believe it. And then it just wouldn't stop. Like, it snowed, then it froze, then it kind of warmed up to 35 degrees, then it snowed again, then it froze again. I was like, girl, I'm staying in the house. And I tried to give y'all a live after Haute Couture week had wrapped. But you know, I can't really talk greasy like y'all like at my mama house. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get this stuff straight here. Hold on. Okay. I can't really talk greasy the way I really like at my mama house. So, you know, I spent a couple weeks at my mom's house, and we had a great time, surprisingly. I love my mama, but you know, we're just two different people. We ate. I watched a whole bunch of, you know, I watched Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, all the Tubi 90s Lifetime movies and erotic thrillers. I watched some old fashioned shows. My mom, in case you guys didn't remember, she's a master seamstress. So I played in her, you know, in her sewing room for a couple of days too. So I have some things coming to y'all that I just, you know, got down there and created. You know, I really, really fell back in love with, you know, making my own clothes again. Because, you know, I've kind of been in and out of it. But just having no choice but to sit at my mom's house, you know, there was nothing else to do but watch TV and smoke my Reaper. So, listen, what else is going on with me? I think that's about it. I've made some more headway on the house, but nobody can see my house until it's completely finished. So, but I have made some headway on the house. I'm really excited about. And I'm also going to go see my sister this weekend in Richmond. We are long overdue for some sister time. And you know what that means. I'll definitely be coming back and be returning with a brand new episode of Thrift Trip. Ooh, excuse me. I can't drink Coca-Cola. It repeats on me. I haven't done Thrift Trip in a very, very long time. It's been a while because I'm trying to save a little money. But, you know, listen, me and my sister, we love to go thrifting. So I will have a brand new episode of Thrift Trip co-starring my sister, y'all's favorite, Miss Shannon Stovall. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Listen, we've got a lot of ground to cover over here. So I want to start, you know, we're very behind. We've had a lot of events happen. The Grammys, the Super Bowl, Haute Couture Week, you know, New York Fashion Week just wrapped, which I didn't give a whole lot to, but I have a few shows that I really, really loved. And, you know, all this other drama going on in the political space. So let me start off What are we going to start off with here? Let's start off with Haute Couture Week, darling. So, uh, the shows that I really, really liked weren't like the main attraction shows. They, a lot of the big, mainstream names of Paris Fashion Week, those shows were really compromised because Anna Wintour was, playing tour guide to the Bezos Bimbo. I saw her at the Scraparelli show. She kind of snuck in. They snuck her in at the end and then snuck her out. You didn't really see much of her. But then at the Dior show, she's all up in Jonathan Anderson's face. Jonathan Anderson is looking uncomfortable. And after that, and then I saw La Roche styling her, which was like which we're going to talk about all that in a minute. But, I was just disgusted. So, I took a day off and then I got back into it. And so the first show I want to talk about is Ashi Studios, which debuted their 2026 Haute Couture collection, The Beginnings, by house founder and creative director Mohamed Ashi, who started the house in 2007. Now, I know I've talked about Ashi Studios before, but I've never delved deep into, the past career of the creative director and everything about him. A fun fact about Ashi Studios and let me be sure, Mohamed Ashi is he became the first Saudi designer to present during Paris Fashion Week, which, has opened the doors for so many others who are vastly becoming mainstream priority at Paris Haute Couture Week. So, he's making history not only, for his people, but also with his amazing talent. For his latest collection, Ashi focused heavily on structure and craftsmanship. Honey, this lisp. Focused heavily on structure and craftsmanship with corsetry and sharp construction, creating jaw-dropping silhouettes that were very contained at the top, but had an eclectic variety of fluidity past the hips. I thought the use of hair as an intricate embellishment was pleasantly uncomfortable and a little eerie. When designers use hair on the clothing itself, it's like, ooh, girl, where did you get that from? I'm if I wanted to talk. But I still enjoy it nonetheless in the different ways that they use it. But I've never seen anybody use hair this intricate. Like, this is, it almost looks like 3D printed. It's insane. I also loved what looks like, hold on, let me get this right. Gotta get my notes together. It's been a while. I gotta read from the prompts. I also love these looks that sort of look like some sort of epoxy, as well as this sort of rustic latex, and also these armadillo crocodile leather type looks. I absolutely loved it. I thought tying together the 18th century as well with this sort of alien aesthetic was a genius move, making the collection both erotic and romantic. It really took my breath away. It's almost like you don't know how to feel when you're looking at it. This is absolutely stunning. And out of these three shows, I think Chanel would probably be my least favorite. We're going to get into Chanel right after this. But I thought Robert One was going to be my favorite, but Ashi Studios took it all the way home for me. Absolutely stunning. So listen, let's get into my favorite looks here. So, hold on, wait a second. So the first look I want to talk about is the opening look. Honey, again, the use of hair. This is all hair on the side of her. I thought this really set the tone for, I have to light a cigarette. This really set the tone for how the collection was going to go. When I saw this at the opening, I was like, where is he going with this? Where is he really going with this? Because I'm like, this is super, super fucking sexy. I haven't seen this sort of height of sexuality to this extent in any of the Ashi Studio collections or shows that I've watched. And to start off with the money shot, I'm like, well, you starting off at a high, where else is we gonna go? And I thought the model, you know, her having this buzz cut, I thought this really tied this look together. And you know, when I saw this look, I don't know if you guys remember this actress. Her name was Rumi Mara. And I remember back when, not to say that she's old, but back when she was like one of the red carpet it girls. She was wearing a lot of Givenchy and her style aesthetic was really dark and gothic. The minute I saw this look, I thought about Rumi Mara. And I said, God, if she ever has to do an award show, she needs to wear this. Rumi Mara could carry this look. I love it. Also, hold on. What other looks did I like? This black dress. I mean, the layering on this super lush satin, the corset, and then it's sort of got this like hook-tail train on the side. This is absolutely stunning. I would definitely wear this. Now this one, the last one was for Rumi Mara, honey, but this one is for me. Honey, I thought this one was amazing. And I also liked this look. And there was a couple of looks in the collection, as you had saw when I showed it earlier, that, it sort of had this Star Trek Princess Leia feel, but it was still very, very classic, very Grace Kelly in the same breath. I thought this was everything. I just thought it was so powerful. And again, at the bottom, it's just very loose, very free. I love this. Absolutely love this. And then my favorite look of them all was this one. When I saw this, my jaw dropped. This is absolutely stunning. And, this look, my favorite look overall is inspired by the 18th century. It is a hand-painted, plaster-made corset. I mean, you could even see the hands. Like, I'm trying to get all the details so I could describe it to you just in case you can't see it on the screen here. But I mean, look at the hands, underneath that. And then the skirt, again, with that kind of rustic vinyl, latex. This was insane. Like, this collection, I could see them, especially this look, I could see them talking about this for years to come. This collection, this was my favorite Ashi Studio collection to date. Huge congratulations. Huge congratulations. So let's get into the next show, which it was met with some mixed reviews. So next up we have Matthew Blasi with his first ever Haute Couture collection for Chanel, which was held at the Grand Palais with a gorgeous Dream Garden theme. Again, it got mixed reviews, but I'm going to tell you, the thing that the people were complaining about with this collection, oddly enough, is the very same thing that brought Matthew Blasey to fame. Um, and this is where a lot of the criticism stems from. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little buzzed. I did have 2 martinis before I got on. I haven't been on in a while. Cut a bitch some slack. I'm here. Um, hold on, because I'm reading from my notes here. So again, let's backtrack because I just had a complete brain fart. So Matthew Blasey debuted his first haute couture collection, which was met with mixed reviews. But the very thing that the people who didn't like it were complaining about is the very same thing that brought Matthew Blasey to the forefront again, and that is making, what did I say here? Making relatable, attainable clothing, which some would classify as simply regular, with this sort of garment making magic where there's always more that meets the eye. He used the classic power dressing, but making it peekaboo, taking classic socialite style staples and relaxing the silhouettes, not to mention the inspiration of birds and the use of all kinds of feathers throughout the collection, which, knowing Matthew Blasey, probably aren't real feathers. They're probably made out of some, distressed denim threads or something crazy like that. Even taking easy breezy chiffon and shaping it into the illusion of a white beater and blue jeans. I mean, come on, look at this. Whichever way it goes. This is all chiffon. And this is what he's known for. I saw so many people in the comments bagging on this look, and they didn't even realize that it was chiffon because they were just looking at the picture. And I'm like, y'all not open your eyes and really. Matthew Blasey is one of those designers who is going to make you look 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times at the collection because you just don't know what you're looking at. You never know what you're looking at with Matthew Blasey. What else did I say about this Chanel's? I loved how age and size inclusive most of the looks had the potential to be, as well as excellence as well. Excuse me. Excellent couture debut. There was definitely that iconic Karl Lagerfeld cheeky spirit running through it. I loved it. I'm reading from my notes. Cut a bitch some slack. Let me warm up. But yeah, a lot of people were complaining about it. I was just like, it wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was a strong first haute couture collection by Matthew Blasey. What do y'all think? Tell me in the comments. Because these chiffons, I would definitely wear some of this stuff. And I'm not even a Chanel girl like that. But I'm slowly becoming, under Matthew Blasey, I am becoming a Chanel girl. I have never been a Chanel girl like that. I like Chanel. I don't love Chanel. I was always more of a Azadina Laya, Versace, I've never really been a Chanel's girl. But Matthew Blasey is making me, take a second look like, okay, all right. Anyway, so for my third and final favorite collection, I have to give it to Robert One. Robert One's Spring 2026 Haute Couture collection, entitled Valor, presented in Paris, is a dramatic 3-part narrative, library, luxury, and valor, exploring the emotional, often painful journey of creativity, endurance, and the fight between artistic dreams and industry reality, which a very smart move under the current climate, might I add. Known for his avant-garde sculptural style, One's latest work features architectural silhouettes, intense gothic and emotional themes such as thunderstorms and cosmetic elements. My favorite look of this whole collection was the final look, honey. I mean, absolutely stunning. And I'm gonna tell you something. The set even really had a Mugler spirit to it. I don't know if you guys have ever really seen those big Mugler fashion shows. This reminded me so much of a Mugler show, the way the set was set up. I mean, the use of fabric, the corsetry, the surrealism. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And it took you to another place. Again, it told a story. So huge congratulations to everybody that presented during Haute Couture Week. We got a lot to cover, so I'm going to wrap Haute Couture up, and we're just going to skip on over to New York. Where are my New Yorkers? Let's talk about New York. Oh, before I talk about New York, what I didn't like about Haute Couture Week again is the trotting around of the Bezos. And Anna Wintour, before I get to La Roche, Anna Wintour, what are you doing? And you know, I'm really starting not to like Anna Wintour. I'm sorry. I respect her, but as a person, she just, from the outside looking in, it just gives very mean girl. It gives very mean girl. It gives very much social climber, which she doesn't have to do. You trotting around the Bezos bimbo, sneaking her into, the fashion shows. Jonathan Anderson looked so uncomfortable. The minute, I don't even have the video for you, but the minute she walked up to him after the show, he immediately looked uncomfortable. Like he couldn't even enjoy his moment with his Haute Couture debut for Dior, which wasn't my favorite. But great work, but it just wasn't my zhuzh. But I mean, just, and then a little bit more on Anna Wintour. She is has stepped down as editor in chief of American Vogue and has given the job to Chloe Mao. Well, I recently saw an interview. They were supposed to be interviewing the editor in chief of Vogue, and Anna Wintour is sitting over her, like P. Diddy sitting on top of Biggie, like. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Chloe Mao looked very uncomfortable. Anna Wintour looked very silently aggressive. And then we have Luxury Law. The image architect, whose most high-profile client is Zendaya, who is very much, I stand for my people type of chick. And he decided to capitulate and bend the knee and entertain, fascists. Dressed a fascist. And, I came down. I'm always going to be respectful of La Roche because as somebody who wants to work in that world, that's always somebody, especially as somebody black and queer who wants, their foot in the door in that world. You look at somebody like La Roche and it's like, you can't do anything but respect it. The talent and, him working so hard to get there. But boo, this ain't it. This ain't it. And, I was going through Instagram stories and I saw that he reposted her. I immediately made a video, and then I saw everybody else afterwards like outraged and disappointed in him. And his response was a real asshole move of a reel on Instagram. You don't own me, as he's walking up the steps with his 50-inch bust down, clutching his exclusive Hermes bag. And it was just like, damn. Y'all fall in line with these people and you're not even trying to hide it. And then, as the weeks have gone on, I've been wondering, we talked a while ago about rumors circulating that he was trying to buy Parisian fashion house Ungaro, which, is sort of like a dead label right now. And the thought did come to my mind, is he cozy enough to this bitch so she will finance him buying Ungaro? Business-wise, that's a smart move. Because, listen, she has the coin, but she doesn't have the cachet. Lauren, Miss Sanchez, you have the coin, but you don't have the cachet. So La Roche doesn't have as much coin as she does, but La Roche definitely has way more cachet. So, business-wise, that could be a partnership made in heaven. Morality-wise, you look like a sellout to your people. Jeff Bezos and his concubine are the same people that are standing behind Trump, who is sending ICE agents out to your hometown of Chicago and snatching up Black American civilians. If you're going to do it, don't let nobody see you put your hand in the cookie jar, baby. It's just really disappointing. Oh, excuse me. Anyway. Also, I have to send a huge shout out to Alondria, honey. Honey, Alondria served all Haute Couture week in Paris. Alondria was giving me my life. Alondria gives Black Barbie. Alondria gives, I'm here. I don't give a fuck what you bitches think. I am chocolate, deep, dark chocolate, bitch, and I'm front row at every motherfucking show. And yes, I'm fresh off a motherfucking reality show, bitch. Yes. So what? I'm here. Honey, this look that she had at the Valentino show, it sealed the deal for me. She is the new fashion it girl. This right here, this 70s, honey, she's giving Lola Falana. She is giving Lola Falana, honey. This look right here. Shout out to Alondria, baby. They can't fuck with you, Alondria. Alondria is that bitch, okay? Anyway, so let's jump on over to New York real quick. Now, again, I didn't give New York too much because I had a lot going on all this week. But I have to send a huge shout out to Rachel Lee Scott, who made a double debut in New York with her official debut collection for Parenza Schooler, which I had mixed reviews on it the first time I watched the show, but the second time I watched it, I got it. When I think of Rachel Lee Scott, I really think of, a cultural experience when I watch her fashion shows. But this is Parenza Schooler. This is not Rachel Scott. This is Rachel Scott for Parenza Schooler. So when I think about it in that vein, I'm like, yeah, I love this. I love the restraint of it. And it does, the conservatism of it doesn't feel forced. And it doesn't feel forced. I'm going to leave it at that. It doesn't feel forced. It feels willing. And it feels like a sort of conservatism that's not to put a leash on women, but it's really putting a leash on the men. And maybe I'm digging too much into it, but that's how I felt about it. But honey, the collection of hers that I really loved was her Diatima fashion show. Um, it was inspired by Wilfredo Lam, who is a pivotal Cuban-born surrealist artist known for blending Afro-Cuban spirits and culture with European modernism, which is exactly what she did in this collection. You can see some of his work, painted across the looks. I absolutely love it. Huge shout out to her. Another person who I adore. I adore this man. I can't wait till I am able to have a conversation with this man. The great Sergio Hudson celebrated 10 legendary years in the game with his 10th anniversary show, giving luxury, giving mahogany, giving Diane Carroll. And he's been able to ride this elegant, black elegance wave for all 10 years of his career, and we're never bored. And he doesn't get the flowers that he deserves. He absolutely does not. Sergio Hudson is a consumer's designer. He is a consumer's designer. He cares about the women that he dresses. He cares about not only how they look, but also the price point. I mean, absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. So huge congratulations to him. Now that we have all the fashion out the way, darling, we have a little bit more fashion, right after. And before I go, we also have to give a huge shout out to Rama Dawaji, the First Lady of New York. Rachel Lee Scott got to be that girl to pull out the First Lady of New York at her show, honey. But something tells me that they were friends for a long time. I think that I could see them really being friends. Look at her. She's just a regular New York girl. Front row at Diatima for Rachel Lee Scott. Shout out to Rama Dawaji. So listen, let's get to the Grammys, honey. So the Grammys were a couple weeks ago. Hold on. And I'm just gonna touch on a few highlights. This year's Grammys I enjoyed more than the past 5 years. I thought it was eclectic. I thought it was fair. The awards that were given out, I thought it was fair. We have to send a huge shout out to Duran Bernard, who won his first Grammy for Best Progressive R&B Album for his record Bloom. I also want to send a huge shout out to British neo soul singer Olivia Dean, who won Best New Artist and who was also my pick for Best Dress, wearing none other than custom Chanel's. Listen, I have been hearing her song all over TikTok, all over social media. Tell me you got someplace to go. I really like it when you call me wonderful. I thought it was a white girl that sang that song. I thought it was Sabrina Carpenter or somebody that sung that song. I did not know that was her. So I had to do more digging, and I love her. I also love her style. I mean, even with the red dress that she performed in, absolutely stunning. But I can't talk about the Grammys without talking about that D'Angelo tribute and that Roberta Flack tribute by Lauryn Hill. Oh, that was beautiful. October London, Raphael Sadiq, Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean and her, reunited because, the third member of the Fugees, Prague, I think he's in jail for fraud, allegedly. But they reunited and did their version of Roberta Flack's most noted hit, what's it called? Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words. Lauryn Hill and the Fugees redid that, and they sang that. I mean, it moved me to tears. I absolutely loved it. who else do we have for? Okay, I also loved Doshi's look. Doshi looked incredible in Roberto Cavalli. And I love that she touched on that she's tapping into her natural black girl aesthetic, which is kind of missing right about now. So I appreciated her for that too. But we also can't talk about the Grammys. I'm rushing. But we also can't talk about the Grammys without talking about Bad Bunny, honey, who took home, what did he win? Album of the Year? I think he won Album of the Year. He gave a great speech denouncing ICE. And out of everybody, I have to give him Best Dressed. Because this was the first time Schiaparelli dressed a man for this big of events. For this big of an event. And I thought he looked absolutely incredible in this Schiaparelli suit. I mean, y'all know I got a crush on Bad Bunny, honey. Speaking of Bad Bunny, let's just jump straight into it because I'm running out of time, honey. I'm so glad the Super Bowl is over. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad it's over. There was so much controversy around this halftime show before the man even got a chance to hit the goddamn field. But when he finally did, honey, he shut it down. So the Patriots, got their ass whooped by the Seahawks. But, honey, Bad Bunny brought out Cardi B. He brought out Jessica Alba, Ricky Martin, Lady Gaga, the symbolism of it. My favorite part of it was the sugarcane fields and also him giving his Grammy to the young boy. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was met with a lot of hate online, including from a lot of black folks, which I was really disappointed in. I was really disappointed in y'all for, oh, this one should have did it, this one should have did it, that one should have did it. Well, I didn't know what he was talking about. Well, you understood you didn't know what they were saying in the Macarena, but you danced to it, didn't you? We didn't know what the fuck, no, gasolina. We didn't know what that meant, but we were steady singing Daddy Yankee. Like, really, black folks? And speaking of black folks hating on the Super Bowl, Chris Brown, I'm gonna need for you to sit your yellow ass down. Chris Brown after the show tweeted, "Yeah, I think they need me now." And listen, I'm gonna say something. I think Chris Brown is the male counterpart to Beyonce when it comes to performing. Nobody can do it like Chris Brown. Nobody. Not even Usher. When it comes to dancing, 3 hours that boy gets up there and dances and sings and nails it every time. But your mouth and your behavior is what holds you back. Point blank, period. And not only that, listen, our country is in the middle of mayhem right now. Nobody wants to run it. We want to stand up. Chris Brown, I'm going to be honest with you. You don't really stand for anything. You don't stand for shit. I haven't seen you say anything about ICE. I haven't seen you say anything speaking out against Trump. I haven't seen you do any of that. I've seen you trolling your old buddy Kevin McCall about how broke he is. I've seen you playing with your kids, living the great life that you worked hard for. But you don't stand for anything. Not to mention the fact that you are a little colorist. And there has been rumors circulating. So many celebrities have came out and said, Chris Brown should do the Super Bowl. And I agree. But apparently they didn't need you this year. And I don't think they needed you this year either. I think this was the perfect time and the perfect year for Bad Bunny to get up there and do his thing. He stands for something. He has put his career on the line numerous times, speaking up for his people. The same way Kendrick Lamar has. Which is why he performed at the Super Bowl last year. Not to mention the fact, none of us niggas need to be watching the motherfucking Super Bowl no goddamn way. The owner of the Patriots donated how much money to Trump's campaign? Make America great again, my yes. And you know, I deter from saying stuff like that because, listen, I don't care what part of the entertainment world, what part of the art world you enjoy, it's all compromised one way or the other. I love Naomi Campbell. It's a picture of her right here on my end table. But she's all up and through them Epstein files. Doing God knows what. So people love football the same way I love fashion. So I try not to judge so much because it's easy for me not to watch football because I don't give a fuck about football. But tell me not to watch New York Fashion Week. You know, whether the Bezos bimbo was, hell, Melania Trump could have walked into the, Scraparelli show. Bitch, I was still going to watch it. you know? But, I mean, Chris Brown, your behavior is not, you just got to do better with your behavior. You're a black man in America. Let me light my blunt. Again, I don't know if you know this, Chris Brown, but you are a black man in America. It's shit that you can't do that your white male counterparts can and get away with. You can't behave that way. But I do think that next year's Super Bowl, I think it should go to Chris Brown. I really do. I really do. I grew up with Chris Brown. Me and Chris Brown are about the same age. When I first moved to Virginia, he had just came out with Run It, and that's all you can hear about. So I watched his career from the very beginning, and he definitely deserves a Super Bowl halftime show. Y'all want to get into some tea real quick? Hey, Cardi B. So everybody's talking about Cardi B. She made headlines at the Super Bowl because apparently her and old Stefon Diggs done, broke up. Speaking of Stefon Diggs, honey, Cardi, I get it, girl. After I seen this video of him walking in this tunnel, baby got front and back. If you can see the print through denim, it's something serious. Honey, and it's heavy in the back too. Now listen, I'm not a top kind of girl, but when I seen that ass in them jeans, I told myself, listen, I'll climb his back like John Henry if he wants me to. Stefon Diggs is fine, but real problematic because allegedly the two of them broke up in the middle of the Super Bowl, which is probably why he lost, because allegedly he is best friends with her ex-husband Offset's mistress and invited her to the game like a dumbass. I saw a video of Cardi B, and she was like, they was like, Cardi, do you have any last messages for your man, Stefon, before the game? She looked at that camera, she said, good luck. I knew it was over then. Cardi B is, if she is nothing else, she is transparent, as these goddamn curtains I got up right here. But, everybody was saying, jokes on her, yada, yada, yada. Cardi knew exactly what kind of man this was when she got with him. Cardi has her baby. Cardi is rich. Cardi is on a sold-out tour right now. And Stefon Diggs is in court fighting a assault case after just losing his girl and the Super Bowl. You tell me who's winning. Who's the real loser here? Cardi B is giving no fucks about a Stefon Diggs. Anyway. So, the Bad Bunny thing, the Bad Bunny halftime show, it brought a lot of controversy. All the Republicans were up in arms. They even had a Turning Point USA halftime show with Kid Rock, Mr., it ain't statutory, it's mandatory. His words, his lyrics, not mine, which only garnered 5 million viewers, whereas Bad Bunny is the most watched Super Bowl halftime show in history with 136 viewers. Hello. Kid Rock was up there looking like he needed to be on a drip. Are you kidding? Now the Republicans want to investigate Bad Bunny's motherfucking halftime show. Well, I'm going to make this political corner real quick. How about y'all investigate the people that's up there making prepubescent pate out of missing children? Allegedly. How about y'all investigate RFK snorting coke off dirty public toilet seats? This is the man y'all got in charge of our public health? And then there's Miss Pam Pussy Poppin' Bondi. The political pussy popper, Pam Bondi. So she had a hearing in front of Congress about the release of the Epstein files. And she was a total fucking cunt. A cantankerous cunt the entire time. Take a look at this.
Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
The committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. Ms. Bondi, the Attorney General can respond.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4
years. You in court. I had to cut that short. Miss Girl, you are in front of Congress at a hearing to talk about the Epstein files. And in case you didn't know, because you and the administration you work for tend to forget a lot, the Epstein files have a lot to do with the abuse of young girls and children. And horrific, demonic, satanic acts against children. What the fuck does that have to do with the Dow Jones? These people, this is a circus. The fact that she's able to go, this is what you call white privilege right here. To be able to go in front of Congress and talk to them people any old kind of way, calling one of them anti-Semitic. Girl, when Trump is done with you, you are going to be a hot, stank-ass bowl of clam chowder cunt when he's done with you. Right before, I was watching Don Lemon when I was in the hair and makeup, and they've already fired your underling. It's an absolute shame and a disgrace. It's a shame and a disgrace. And what I think is so many other countries around the world are hunkering down on these Epstein files. Whoever in their country that's affiliated with this, they are immediately shut the fuck down. And I was talking to somebody about it today, and I honestly believe that if they don't do something about Donald Trump and bringing justice to these women, I do believe it's possible that maybe another government might step in and put the pressure on America to hold the American, government officials that are in these files accountable. There's even one congressman who brought his kids and his wife down there and then lied about it live on television, and the next week, he in the Epstein files. The American people aren't as dumb as you counted on them to be. You're not going to get away with it. Y'all are all going to end up in jail. It's no point in hiding what you're doing. Just be honest about it. Stop playing in people's motherfucking face. Stop playing on people's motherfucking top. Just be honest. You're a bunch of racist, demonic, child abusing, money hungry monsters. And you all need to go to jail. And that's all I have to say about it. But before I go, we lost today one of the very last pillars in the civil rights movement. We still have a couple, still with us, but Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away at 84 years old this morning. And I don't agree with everything that Jesse Jackson stands for, but I understand the importance of Jesse Jackson, and I respect his legacy, because had it had not been for a Reverend Jesse Jackson kicking the door down and running for president not once but twice and coming dangerously close, there would not be a Barack Obama. There would not be a Kamala Harris. And it's so crazy for him to die during Black History Month. So I want to send my condolences to the family. And we appreciate everything. We don't have to agree, but we respect everything that you have done for our community. Everything from the Rainbow Coalition, working with Reverend Al Sharpton, the NAACP, walking alongside Martin Luther King. I mean, actually being in the mud with the people. I am somebody. So, may you rest in everlasting peace, Reverend Jesse Jackson. And with that, y'all, we've come to the end of our show. I'll be back in a few days. I miss y'all. Ciao.